Welcome to T Boys TV. We are back again with another Hatter Show, episode 235. And in this one, obviously during the week, we did want to obviously get the Portsmouth game spoken about then. But obviously, as some of you guys would have seen, do make sure you check the video out after this stream if you haven't already. I did actually play football again for charity. Obviously, I haven't played football for a very, very long time. And my legs are still feeling the effects to this day, slightly better. But I did actually score in that as well. And the goal is on record. So do check that out after, guys, and everything like that. But before we get anything in to do with Luton, how are you, Dad? You been good?
Yeah, all good, man. All good, mate. Everyone's cool, and everyone enjoyed the win.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But yeah, let's get into a win. It feels good to finally talk about a win. Obviously, the first win since the 20th of December. Obviously, when we beat Derby 2-1 at home. Obviously, it's the late limbs. But obviously, for this one, lineup was always going to be interesting going into it because, some people like myself looked into it and went, well, we haven't got a CDM obviously available with, other than Fanny because obviously, Nakamba's now been out going to be out for 6 weeks. What do we do? Do we put him in just for a little bit of steadiness or, do we go for it a bit more, which obviously we did and put, Clark there who can do a bit of both, not as good, obviously, defensively, but still can do okay there. And we went with a back three, Kaminsky, Makoso, Naismith, and Bell. Obviously, after Makoso's performance against Watford, good 45 minutes, he's earned a start. We had Jones on the right, Doughty on the left, always going to go with them. And then we had Clark, Asgard, and Walsh. Very good attacking midfield, that's for sure, them three. And then Morris and Brown up front. Good to see that, just because he hasn't been on great form, good to see that Elijah still, not put straight in. As for the bench, you had Elijah, Ali, Anderson, Bowler, Dabo, Paul, McGuinness, Nelson, and Nordas. And, I knew McGuinness would be available in some sort of way, given by what they're going into the game, by Matt Bloomfield, whether that was on the bench or starting. And obviously it was on the bench, which it was weird to see. I thought maybe it'd be the other way around and he'll come off. But, fair enough. I don't mind that at all, especially when Makoso has been as good as he has. Bell is a left footer, so that's why you predominantly keep him there. And Naismith is just Naismith at the moment. There's nothing really else to say on him. But, I mean, looking at that lineup, it was quite interesting at first, wasn't it, really, Dad?
Yeah, we had to go kind of free at the back a little bit. McGuinness obviously wasn't quite ready. I know he did come on. It was good to see Koso coming in after his performance against Watford. Strong midfield. I called it. We wouldn't go with the CDM. Didn't. And then, setting two up front, kind of expected to a certain degree, especially after Brown. And when he did come on against Watford, he went too bad. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like I say, there was that split. Do we go with Lamine, like I say, even though we are at home? But then there's that other split of, what other fans went with, like yourself, Dad. With just going for it really because we have to now. It's got to that stage. As we all know, but going into the first half, I thought we were quite dominant. Like we have been in quite a lot of first halves in recent games, especially at home. You look at Sheffield United, for example. You look at the Plymouth game. I thought we were quite dominant at the start of that game. And it was similar in this game in that sense. But the worry, quite early on was, even though it's still early on, was, in the later stages, will we have a chance and will we make the most of it? We know we're going to have them chances. It's just, will we make the most of it? And we did. Jordan Clark, done really well. I think, if I remember rightly, they got a free kick that they shouldn't have even got, which then led to us to go on the counter, in my opinion. They shouldn't have got the free kick. Then we went on the counter. Jordan Clark, made a run. We had an opportunity. They nearly scored an own goal. They nearly scored an own goal before that as well. Bizarre, really. Played it back to the keeper, but they completely messed it up and they got away with that. And then on the actual goal before the finish, their defender blocked it, but he hit the post. Nearly scored an own goal. It's a bit of a scramble, but Clark was there, right place, right time. And, as much as this was a rebound, it was a great finish. When you look at Clark's goals, like I said, in the match reaction that he scored over the years for us, they're all memorable, goals, like banging goals. You think of the playoff final, obviously the standout. You think of the two he got against Man City. You think of the one he got against Bournemouth in the Premier League last year. They're all great strikes that he scores. And he was there, right place, and he stepped up, because obviously the Watford game, he didn't even come on in that game, which was a bit of a surprise, given he scored last time, given he's one of the more experienced sort of players. It was a big game for him, specifically into this because, like I say, he didn't play any minutes in that game. He's one of the leaders in that leadership group. And also the fact that there's no CDM there, so he's the one, when you look at everyone in midfield, really, that can do a bit of both. The best out of the ones we've got available right now. Taking away Lamine, who is obviously actually a CDM, the ones that can do a bit of both, with Nakamba being out, he is that one. So there was a bit of pressure, I would say, going on, from him going into this game, for him, sorry. And he rose to it and done really well. Loved the passion for the goal. And again, there's rumours he's come out and he said he's been playing through injury as well. So you have to give him credit on top of that because of these injury problems. Baptiste, Nakamba now being out, back and forth, really. He stepped up in that sense as well to have that determination to carry on and fight for the team. And you have to give him credit. And, he loves the club. It's obvious. And again, we've been critical of him at times, but that's more when he's playing deeper because we know he's not good there. Like, he's not as good there, shall I say, as when he's, driving at players and you're putting him sort of more in an attacking midfield. But, if he can keep doing this and have a bit of cover with him, and then have other players to do stuff like Walsh for the eye of pass, obviously Asgard taking the pot shots and that, I think it can really benefit him. Whereas before, he hasn't really had anyone there that's going to do what he can do in an attacking spark, as he really, because before that, what did he have? Kraus, who's a bit more defensive minded, who's not really going to take them pop shots and take on players, is he really? So, yeah, I mean, really good goal from Clark, and it was a good that we took our chance, wasn't it, Dad?
Yeah, I think that's one of the best kind of goals we've scored this season from open play. It's not even about his finish, which was decent. It's the fact he ran, he took it out defence, didn't panic, took it all the way. You know what I mean? Played the correct pass, and then was there to anticipate, a deflection or whatever, and finished it. It was a fantastic goal, and we have been lacking that. Like you said, he's playing his normal midfield position, and I think he seems to be enjoying it more. Giving him a bit of slack in the past, but generally it's just because he's been playing in the wrong position. It's great control, and that's where you see how good of a footballer he can be. Do you know what I mean? Really pleased with that, and I'd say we deserved it. They didn't really turn up. The ref wasn't fantastic, but we've had worse, I think. So it was just nice to take the lead.
Yeah, absolutely. And just naturally with how the season's been and there's people agreeing with me in the match reaction, I still felt as much as they were like us in the second half, I felt they were like us against Watford in the sense of they were so dominant, but in the final third they were just terrible, and you just never really felt phased. But just as soon as we got that goal, I still felt we had to get another one. And like I say, a lot of people agreed with me just because how it is, we score a goal and then we sort of sit back at times, especially this season anyway. And, that's how I felt going into it. But we managed to hold on. But the first half, I think what also really benefited us as well, as much as, we played well, was them yellow cards they got. They're experienced players as well in Richie and Murphy. I think that really helped. And they were struggling to deal with Walsh. He got taken out twice. Bad challenges on him, to be honest. And I thought Dozzle, however you say his name, he got away with it. I don't care how early on it is, he should have been off for me because, you cannot go in with that intent that early on in the game, in my personal opinion. Um, I don't like that where people go, oh, but it's early, so we'll give him a yellow. No, if the tackle's bad enough, it's bad enough. And I felt they got away with that. And then, like I say, Richie and Murphy getting yellow cards massively benefited us on top of how well we were playing because that's experienced players. Then their manager obviously looked at it and thought, well, we have to take them off. They're on a yellow card. And I thought if anyone was going to do something against us, it would have been one of them two. So that massively helped on top of that. And then going into the second half, like I say, they reminded me of us against Watford. They were dominant, but the final third, they were just terrible, really. Didn't really look dangerous, really. They had a few chances, but they were blazed over. I mean, they had one golden opportunity. But other than that, they weren't good enough chances. And, it was one of them where players that did come on, obviously bar McGuinness, because he is a defender, they struggled to really get on the ball and do things because they would just try and, just crossing stuff into the box, basically. And obviously, McGuinness did come on. Did have that worry that he might have to come off, which didn't look great. Thankfully, he continued that. So you've got to give him massive credit for that. On top of that, and again, it does show that the players are willing to fight now. Ever since that, I'd probably say the Sheffield United game, all right, the Watford game, a lot of players just didn't play great. But, taking away that, I think the recent weeks, they have wanted to show that fight and determination. It's just individually sometimes we do stupid mistakes which cost us. But lucky enough, we saw this game out, and it was good. It was good. And again, Kaminsky's got a bit of criticism, which I don't overly really agree with, if I'm honest. There was a moment early on where they had a chance. Kaminsky come out, made himself look big. That's been one of the criticisms he's received in recent weeks. Come out, made himself look big. And when he was called upon, I thought he was decent again, to be honest with you. So credit to him. Again, people call him for Shay. Shay's not even on the bench, guys. Yeah. So let's stop saying that now because it's just not going to happen. Even though Bloomfield weren't our manager at the time, even in cup competitions, Krul or Shay never got put in goal. So it's going to be Kaminsky. We've only got championship games now for the remainder of the season. It's only going to be Kaminsky unless he gets an injury, which, obviously touch wood he doesn't. So yeah, man, that's really my thoughts on the game, really. I mean, it was good. It was good that we saw it out. It's good that Bloomfield finally got his first win. Because again, criticism I don't agree with, which he's been receiving as well, saying, oh, how's it took him this long to get a win? There's no manager bounce. We've looked much better. We've looked much more steady at the back. And again, you have to give certain players credit for that, like Naismith, especially him. But at the same time, Bloomfield's set up in a way which has worked. A lot of people, including myself, and I'll be honest, I'm guilty of this, criticising the back three formation, mainly under Rob Edwards because of the way he was using it, putting players in wrong positions. Bloomfield's come in, yes, it's due to injuries. He's had to go to a back three, but he's put in a back three. We've won a game, and it's not really been, yes, we were quite fortunate that they weren't as good in the second half, but still, first half performance was good, and there was the moments where we did look good overall. So you've got to give him the credit for that. And let's see what can happen. It was always going to be a big ask for him to come in and try and keep us up because it's too late. Well, I feel it's too late personally. Hopefully I'm proven wrong, but he should have been given more time. But there we go. That's the story that we all, most of us agree on anyway. But second half, we held on and we got a very good win that we needed in the end, didn't we, Dad?
Yeah. We played more like a team. There was more of that winning the second balls and things like that, which have been lacking a hell of a lot. So that's good to see. They'd come off of bad. They've got some decent players in their team. They'd won the last three or whatever it was. and we were under pressure, but everyone just kind of gelled. You know, Makoso was excellent. The back three was pretty decent, and you know there was a lot of good performances there. There was even a couple of quality players that didn't play that well, and if they did, then it might have been more. You know, so it was good to see. Clean sheet. Um, you know, at the time it was excellent result. With Hull winning, it kind of pegs it back a little bit. But you know, you just got to carry on fighting and see what happens like, at the moment. We've got a lot of games coming up where you know it can have a massive impact. You know, Hull, Cardiff, Derby, you know, Middlesbrough at home, Blackburn at home. We tend to do well against them. Things like
Stoke
that.
away as well. That's another one.
Who are struggling. I've got Coventry tomorrow. So you know, obviously we need to try and get something from the Burnley game to keep us confident more than anything. See what happens around us, but it's not insurmountable yet. It could be too late, but we've done it before. You know, I've seen a few great escapes in the past, so you never know. But yeah, we needed it. Called it as well. Just had that feeling because you know the performances were getting better generally. You know, and the confidence is creeping up. The two goals we gave away against Watford, you know, more to that is the fact that we'd had their defenders out. That's the key to that for me. So you know, it could have been worse. Some people are predicting that you know we're going to get a good hiding tomorrow. I think so. But yeah, it was a good result. Yeah, excellent. Just what we needed at the time.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting people saying that because I'll be honest. I mean, obviously I'm a Luton fan, but I could see it from both sides of why I guess people would say it. More so, I'm on the side that no, I don't think that will happen. I mean, I guess people are probably saying it, basing it on, oh, even then, thinking about it, I was about to say first game of the season, but even then, they had a different team. You know, their front four was different to what it is now. You know, you look at who was playing for us in that game, and no disrespect to them, but, you know, they're not. You know, they're not regulars. You know, obviously you had Johnson and Waters, who, by the way, are both playing right now in the under 21s. I think they're playing Nottingham Forest in that game, which is interesting. I thought one of them would at least be in the squad tomorrow, which they might still be. You know, we see it with one of the players, a couple of we played Derby, one of the youngsters. He was playing on the same day against United under 21s, I think, and then he was in our squad. But obviously, it's a bit different with them because they're more senior compared to him, anyway. But yeah, I can see it from that end, I guess. And you know, they have had a few results where they have blown teams, but then again, they don't really score a lot of goals. They're very good defensively. You know, only conceded 10 goals this season, but I don't know. I mean, last few times we went there, obviously we'll get into it a bit more. We have done well. You know, we've got a couple of draws, and we actually, you know, especially away grounds, we don't have great records at places. But Burnley's is actually quite good, and I'll read a bit more on it in a bit. But yeah, overall, you know, good win. Good that we saw it out. You know, the performance still weren't elite, basically, but if you get them results, you know, that's what matters for us at the moment, and that's what I care about, really, like a lot of us. So yeah, that's that. What we'll do as we'll get into the player ratings, then we'll get into the comments, and then we'll get into the Burnley game. So the player ratings, so Kaminsky in goal. Like I say, when he was called upon in this game, I thought he'd done well, given the criticism he has recently received from certain people. So yeah, for me, I will go Kaminsky, decent Kaminsky, 6.5.
Yeah, 6.5. I think got a yellow as well, but you know.
Yeah, but he has time wasting again, like the other game against him.
But he didn't have loads to do, and like I say, when he did, he was all right, and he was a bit more, he was solid when he needed to be. So yeah, 6.5.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Moving on to Bell, a better performance from Bell. I think Naismith being there really helps him, and you know, I'll be honest. I'll be totally honest. As much as I feel Naismith's the leader we have been missing, when he first started playing in the middle and back three, I was a little bit like, I don't know. I felt like he should be more on the left sort of centre back where Bell has been. But him obviously being there has been immense, and I think he's massively helped Bell, be able to do, the stuff Bell is good at, which is, looking for a pass, not sitting on the ball as much and trying to cut in. Because when he cuts back sometimes or cuts in, it does worry me, But I felt in this game he was decent. He was decent, to be fair to him. It's a better performance. So Bell, I will give Bell a 6.5 again.
Yeah, I thought it was better from him. Again, wasn't threatened too much, but you know, didn't make any silly errors and stuff like that. I'll give him a 7.
Yeah, I was going to go over 7 for Bell. Moving on to Naismith, go over to Naismith. Solid yet again. Close man of the match for me. Just the stuff he does. Like, he does simple stuff, but he makes it look so good. And I don't know if that's because we've missed someone like that for so long. Like, but then you look at stuff, all other stuff he does in the game, like the way he brings it down with his chest, looks for the pass, does a player or two, quality, and I think if we keep him in a back three, I've got no problem with it. If we play a back three and he's not in it, I'm worried. But if he's in it, I've got no problem with that. And yeah, he's really close to get man of the match for me. So I'm actually going to give him I'll go over 8.
Yeah, I'll give him an 8. No, we definitely missed him. Showed crazy. But you got to give him credit. He's coming back into the club and he's playing like he never left. He got a cut on that. Wanted to carry on. Had to have an orange band. You know what I mean? Luton colours, calm on. Give me Steve Foster vibes and that. Warrior at the back. Real. Like he's doing. What Lockyer was doing for us, basically. Do you know what I mean? And yeah, we was a bit at first, but it made sense when we signed him, and it's actually probably really working. So that recruitment's spot on. And he'll be a regular for the rest of the season, and maybe regardless of whether we go up or down, like he could earn himself a little contract with us, I think. And I'd still take him. Obviously, definitely take him in League One, 100%. But even in the Championship, even if he's not like starting, he's a great player to have around and that, and he obviously gets on with some of the lads and stuff. So yeah, close. But I'll give him an 8.
Yeah, it's like I said at the time, the January signings, him or Asgard was my favourite. And like I said about Naismith, the reason why he was up there is because he's been in and around the club. I just know he was that leader that we've been missing, and he's showing it. And I'll be honest, I didn't expect him to play probably as good as he has, since he's come back. But he's just doing so well and he's just thriving. And I believe, like you say, there will be a contract there that we will give him. We'll just see whatever league we're in. We'll see from there if he accepts or not. I think if there's no one else coming in, it doesn't sound like it's a favourite at Bristol City at all. So I'm not worried about that. It's just, if someone who maybe comes up, maybe goes for him or something like that. But we'll see. I want to keep him, and I think maybe he might look at it as well. And again, obviously if we go down, it doesn't really make sense what I'm going to say it. But then again, you sort of know what I mean in the sense of, obviously he left to go to Bristol City, more money, fair enough. But then again, if you look at our trajectory compared to Bristol City's, at the time, we were in the Premier League, missed out on that. He'll maybe want to hopefully, rise with us again and have another sort of journey. So we'll see. It'll be interesting. But moving on to the next player, Makoso. Really, really good in this game. I loved his passion at the end of the game as well, kissing the badge. That was quality. And again, he's come in, he's done really well. Like I say, the 45 minutes against Watford, this game. And obviously don't wish injuries on no one, but maybe, and like I said, him and McGuinness, Naismith and McGuinness being out for the Watford game is a blessing in disguise, because I don't think we would have seen him anytime soon. He's playing in the youth teams and that a couple of weeks ago at St Albans when they beat Brighton. I think it's 3-0. So it looked like he was going to be one of them which was just going to develop and stuff. So it's good that he's come in now and got that opportunity, and he's thriving. He's thriving to it so far. And, for me, he should still warrant a start, whether McGuinness is fully fit or not. Obviously, he's available, but it's not really come out on the fitness side of things and that for him. So, yeah, for me, Makoso, really, really good. I'm going to give him a 7.5.
Yeah, 100%, 7.5. It weren't just at the end; it was throughout the whole game. You know what I mean? When he was celebrating tackles and geeing up the crowd and like proper showing fight, and that's exactly what we need. And so other players maybe should be looking at him and thinking, like, do you know what I mean? And these little things help. And he just looks assured on the ball. He's got, he can read the game well, and he's young, man. He definitely.
Very, very young.
Yeah. What? See, yeah, people slagging off the recruitment team. We tried to balance it out. Do you know what I mean? But I think it's poor, other players we'd signed, like Taylor, needed more chance. You know what I mean? Things like that. And like
McAtee as well.
Maybe he would, but he's had his chance, and he's proven that he at the moment he can play at championship level. And he works really, really hard, as does Jones. Another kind of signing we weren't too sure about. But if you looked at his stats, they weren't that bad. It was homesickness apparently, really, which but it is another one. But yeah, 7.5.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, you look at it as well, you have to give him massive credit. Like you say, he's 20, he's still obviously adapting. And you look at, like, we got Hashioka, didn't we, from the Belgian league, right? Obviously, we've got Christ from the Belgian league. Hashioka obviously struggled a little bit. Yes, it's a bit different because it's Premier League, but you look at it, Makoso's younger. He's come in and he's just settled in straight away. Yeah, pretty much. And again, you don't want to put too much expectation on him now, but he has looked very good the last couple of games.
It reminds me of when Mengi first started a little bit. Do you know what I mean? And he's another player like we need to be trying to keep hold of him. He's back in training, I think.
Yeah, I had a feeling he would be before they mentioned it, because obviously I follow him on Instagram. And a couple of days ago, he put a picture up and he had football boots on, and I think he was on grass or something. So I sort of had that feeling there.
Yeah, but similarities in certain ways, but his passion and he's nice to see. He's showing that he really wants to play for the club and he's up for the fight. And for me, that bit kidology. Some people might say like trying to G himself up to guarantee himself starting, but if you're putting it on the pitch as well, you need to be starting him. So yeah, 7.5.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I totally agree. And then moving on to the next player, we'll go over to Jones. Not Jones's best game, but it wasn't a bad game. It was just what I didn't like about Jones in this game was he weren't driving at players, willing to take them on. And again, that might have been something that Bloomfield might have said to him, but I don't know. I mean, his passing was decent. It was just he's not. I want him running at players, because he's quick, he's rapid. As we know, he's shown it, especially in the Watford game. He was probably the only shining light really in that game. So we know he's got the capabilities of showing it, but in this game he just wasn't really showing it for me. But again, it wasn't a terrible performance. It was just there was just better players, on the day, and the other players had to step up because he was a country mile better than the other players in the Watford game. So they sort of had to step up and get to his level of what he was on in that game. So for me, I'll just go with a 6.5 for Jones. Not too bad, but not too great, really. One of them sort of ones when it comes to it. But Jamie says long way to go regarding the championship. Yeah, I mean, I was looking at it. We've actually got less fixtures left than I thought we actually did. Pretty crazy, to be honest. But yeah, I mean, it's tight in it, really. I mean, like my dad said, it didn't help that whole one the other day. Ideally, I wanted to draw. in that, nothing else, because the team directly below us and above us in Plymouth and Hull. But yeah, we'll see in it. We'll see. I mean, yeah, it's one of them. We'll see. But yeah, like I say, I'm going to give Jones 6.5.
Yeah, I'll give him a 6.5. I'm not sure. He put a lot of effort into the last game, and he's obviously got that in. But I think they were marketing quite well. And he's not going to be on it every single game. And no, but he weren't terrible. Defensively, he was looking to come back and things like that. So I'll give him a 6.5.
Yeah, fair enough. And then moving on to Doughty. If any of you watched the story on Doughty yesterday on the Luton YouTube, that was pretty good actually. I watched it yesterday, just his journey and that, and yeah, it was good. It was a good watch actually. To be fair, and it was good when it got to the Luton section. Obviously, talk about the playoff final and stuff like that. But yeah, check that out, man. That's good if you haven't. But yeah, in this game, I thought he was decent. Driving at players, crossing the ball in. We know he's very good at that. He's shown that upon times in his career, and he's shown it again for us. So for me, Doughty, I'll give him 7.
Yeah, I'll give him a 7. Just kind of just showing that ability in that. Nothing special, but working hard and looking to get forward, playing the right pass and things like that. Looking up for the fight. Enjoyed this game. Took off up, because we went a little bit more defensive, but still, yeah, 7.
Yeah. And then moving on to Walsh, decent performance from Walsh again. He was getting taken out, like I said, twice. Quite bad tackles on him, to be honest. So fair play for him to carry on for that. Now, in a banter way, of course, now we know what it feels like when he does it to the others, when he did it to the others. But no, I thought he was good in the game. His range of passing was good again, and things like that. So I'll go 7.5 for Walsh.
I'll give him a 7. Thought it was, then tackles were crazy. But fair play to him. He's only little as well, picking on the young lad. Do you know what I mean? Not young, but you know what I mean, small lad. But yeah, looking more and more adept in that midfield and things like that. So that's good. Obviously, come off as well for Nelson, because obviously Nelson was moving to the left to replace Doughty, and then we lost a midfielder anyway, so he was going to come off. But still, yeah, I'll give him a 7.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Asgard, similar to Jones for me, like not bad performance, but not great. You know what I mean? But again, he's still like Jones. To be fair, he's still adapting. He's going to league higher. Obviously, I know Jones was anyway, but Asgard is going to league higher. And I think these teams, they are marking quite well, to be fair. And I think he's sort of struggling a little bit. I just want to see him get on the ball, take them pop shots like he did against Sheffield United. That was very unlucky, that chance. So, yeah, Asgard, I'll go the same as Jones, 6.5.
Yeah, I'll give him a 6.5. I think he does the basics well. Do you know what I mean? He'll play the correct pass and things like that. It's just that little bit of extra skill in that, which we have seen in flashes. You kind of want in it more, but you just got to give him a bit of time. It is a step up, and he's just got to be that little bit quicker sometimes, or a little bit more forward thinking. But he's got it in his locker, so I'm not even bothered about that. Yeah, I'll give him a 6.5.
Yeah, and it will be a time where he will have that pop shot and he will score. It's inevitable, really. That's what he does. So I have the faith that he will do that at some point. And then moving on to Clark, he is my man of the match. Scored the goal, like I said, stepped up. I said what I said about him earlier, so I'm not really going to repeat myself when it comes to that. Yeah, Clark, I'll give him an 8.5 man of the match.
I'm going to give him 8.5 as well. Definitely man of the match. Look lively. He's one of the veterans. Brilliant run, set up, and then finish the goal. That wasn't really talked about enough. If someone done that in the Premier League, they'll be chatting about that. and the penalty thing, great run into the box. He should have just tried to just run part. You know what I mean? Like he did try to bite a little bit, but he still got in that position. He looked really confident going forward, and really bright, and was probably the best performance was probably seen in this season. Maybe there's been a couple, but I'd say so. So yeah, man of the match, 8.
Yeah. Well, yeah, there's been quite a lot from us giving him man of the match. He's now put himself second on our vote. So he's right up there. Obviously, he's a point behind Kaminsky, who we've got top at the moment on 7. Clark is now on 6, so he's second on it. So fair play to him. And again, that's what I mean. When he's playing like in that sort of position, he can be good. It's just when you put him a bit more defensive, And to be fair, I have seen him over the years win like aerial duels, and he's not the tallest guy, but overall, you look at games where you do put him out of position. Plymouth away is the standout for me. It might as well have just been Krause there by himself. But when you put him higher,
well, when he was up front with Elijah, I think
that was at Sheffield United. Yeah, that was silly and all. But that that's not down to him. That's just where he's being asked to play, but he's just not as effective there as we know. But yeah, moving on to the strikers. Obviously, we'll start off with Brown. He tried, he didn't live up to, for example, the Plymouth game, where he obviously come on and made an instant impact, but it wasn't terrible. I'll just go 6.5.
Yeah, 6.5. Like, seeing a bit of that in it. Like, he's been at the club long enough to he has scored some good goals for us, and he has had a little bit of injuries and stuff, but I don't know, he should really be stepping up every game to try and win himself starting place. And I don't think it quite is at the moment. 6.5.
Yeah, no, I agree. And it's like we still don't really know as fans where his best position is because he haven't really shown consistency in a position he's been played in, really. So that's another worry we do have with him. But again, like I say, he has provided good goals. Obviously, the Watford one standout. Did score the winner against Cardiff as well when we played them at Kenilworth Road. So, he has got that ability to do that. He just needs to show a bit more. Moving on to Morris. Much better performance from Morris in this game. His hold-up play was good. He was a bit of a nuisance for them, really. The only thing I will say about Morris, I do want to see him in the box a little bit more. Sometimes I feel he comes a bit too deep, and he is really good from aerial threats, as we know. He has shown it in the last couple of games, even when he's had a worse performance. Look at Sunderland game, nearly scored. Good save by the keeper. I think Plymouth, he had another chance, a good save from the keeper again. So, you get him there in the box for them chances, then I'm confident that he will have the chances, and when you compare him, especially right now, to Elijah, there's more chance of Morris scoring. Even though they've both not been great throughout the season, I would back Morris more if he had a big chance like Elijah's had in games. But yeah, he was decent in the game. I'll give Morris a 7.
Yeah, I'll give him 7. It's just the problem, if he's playing, he's got qualities about him, good qualities about him, heading, holding up the ball, they say. But he's too isolated a lot for me, and that's the problem. Do you know what I mean? If he's a bit more freer, then he's going to cause a lot of problems. So, I'm hoping kind of a little bit that he stays at the club, because I know that if he's got other players around him that can free him up a little bit, then he'll perform, to his best. He's peaking in his career, whereas Elijah seems to have not gone backwards so much, but it's got to be a confidence thing with him, I swear. But yeah, I'll give Morris a 7.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'll be honest. If you ask me right now, who'd I rather keep, Morris or Elijah? I'll be honest, Morris. I probably wouldn't have said that. Probably last season when Elijah had that spell in the Premier League, even though Morris ended up getting more goals, I could probably argue Elijah probably would have had more if he weren't injured. But, like I say, the leadership thing as well, and again, Morris is trying for the club, similar to Clark, in that sense. It's just, when when the same thing's being repeated, it does get frustrating as fans. But if you can back up the results, then we're happy, because that's what we need right now. It's not necessarily about performances, even though we've had dire performances and we want to see improvement there. It's about getting results now. We're at that stage now where we just need to pick up the points. Whole winning, like you said, Dad, has not really helped us after that good win that we got, and finally got another win. So we just need to make count, them games, especially them 3, 4, including Derby. We need to be winning them games. For me, we need to be. I'll be honest, we need to be winning pretty much all of them. If not maybe drawing one of them, but for me, we need to be winning every single one of them. Because if we don't get results and these teams do like Hull, it's just going to be a mountain to climb, which it already is, but it's just going to get worse and worse. So we need to just do what we can, really. And as we'll get into the Burnley game in a minute when it comes to that. But yeah, the subs. Moving on to the subs. Ali, come on for Brown. I mean, he was trying, but like I say, it was difficult for him to really get involved because Portsmouth were swinging balls into the box and having opportunities. So it's difficult really for them lot. So I think for Ali and Nelson and Elijah, I think I'll just all go with 6.
Yeah, I agree. And then McGuinness 6.5.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to do with that. So yeah, guys, there you go. There are player ratings. So both give Clark obviously man of the match, which is put him second, like I say. As for the points, you did gain a point, Dad. Obviously, I got nothing. I said 1-0 to Portsmouth, which had a bad feeling. Other way round, I'd have got it right. Obviously, you said 2-1 win. So you knew that we would get a win. So that was good. And it was a massive game going into it, guys, like we know. We needed to pick up, and it was never going to be super duper easy because Portsmouth have done well this year. They have. You've got to give them credit. They've done much better than people thought they would. I actually had them staying up at the start of the season, but it looks like they're probably going to be a few places off that, I would say. And again, you look at things going into the game which gave us an advantage. They had 3 centre backs out. We had to make most of that, and we did. So credit to the players. We just got to keep that consistency now, but it is going to be a difficult game moving on to the next game, which is obviously Burnley at Turf Moor. I mean, like I say, we do have a good record there over the last couple of times we have faced each other, and I will get into that now. So, yeah, Burnley are unbeaten across their last 9 league games against Luton, winning 5, drawing 4, winning a reverse fixture at Kenilworth Road 4-1. Which I didn't actually decide to go to that game until a few hours before, so I kind of regret doing that, to be honest. But this is the stat I'm on about. Luton Town are unbeaten across the last 8 league visits to Turf Moor to face Burnley, winning 3, drawing 5 since the 2-1 defeat in March 1995. So, you look at that, you look at other away grounds, that we've struggled at. That is a pretty decent record. And it's not like we don't play them regularly, playing quite a lot, to be honest. Burnley have kept 6 consecutive league clean sheets at Turf Moor. Clarets last had a longer run without conceding between November 1946 and February 1947, which was 8. This is not so great to hear. Luton Town have lost 20 of their last 23 away league matches, winning 1, drawing 2, including 13 of their last 14 on the road. The Hatters have lost the most away games in the Championship this season, 14. Jayden Anthony has 3 assists in his last 2 Championship appearances at Turf Moor for Burnley. He has only ended on the losing side in 1 of his 35 home starts in the Championship for Bournemouth, Leeds and the Clarets. The lowest percentage of defeats for any player who has started more than 20 home games in Championship history since 2004 to 5, which is 3%. So, that's quite interesting. But a bit more going into it. Obviously, we picked up our first win. We're looking to build on that. Scott Parker's Clarets sit just 2 points below an automatic promotion spot after their win at Cardiff on Tuesday night. Burnley have been on an incredible run in the Championship. They have not lost in the league since November and are unbeaten at Turf Moor this season. It's incredible, really. They've been pushing Leeds United and Sheffield United throughout the season and come into this fixture 2 points behind the Blades in second place. Only 10 championship goals have been conceded by Burnley all season. It's a 2-1 win at Cardiff, ending a run of 12 consecutive clean sheets. Josh Brownhill is the man to look out for, of course. If you guys remember that goal he scored against us in the 1-1 draw in the championship early on in the season. I think it was actually our first away game of the season when Dan Potts scored really early. It was that game. And obviously last time we played overall was in the Premier League, 1-1 draw. I mean, we had chances in that before that, and I felt we deserved the equaliser. There was controversy, or does the goal shouldn't have stood, or it should have stood. For me, it should have stood. I still stand by it to this day. Elijah was looking at the ball. We weren't even looking at Trafford, and Trafford was being a shithouse, basically, anyway. So sort of come back to bite him, really. But yeah, obviously that was a 92nd minute equaliser. And then the official for this game be Stephen Martin. 101 yellow cards, no red cards have been handed out by him across the 25 games this season. Just 7 of his games, 25 games this season, have not been championship fixtures. We last had him when we played Oxford away. Now, in my head, I think him and the linesman were bad. The linesman was definitely bad in that game. But again, you've got to expect it, really. English leagues, they are awful. The referees from whatever league you're in, they're bad. So we got to just rise to it and just get on with it. Really, it's as simple as that. But yeah, that is everything going into it. Not a bad record at Turf Moor, but it's a bit of a mixed feeling going into it, Dad, isn't it? Because we got that record against them, but then again, they've only conceded 10 goals. They haven't lost at all. Our away form. How are you feeling going into it?
Like you say, it's a bit of both, isn't it? Because we have got a good record there. And, both teams are going to be fighting. It should be a feisty game if we step up, which I think we will. And, I think we've got a good chance at any. This is time of the season where the top teams play the teams at the bottom, and this is exactly the sort of game that you never know what's going to happen. So yeah, I wouldn't say I was confident. I don't think we'll win, but I'm confident putting in a good performance and possibly getting a result. The teams know each other quite well. They've still got a lot of players that they had at the time. They've still got a few of them. We have as well. We just got that good record against them. So, we got the confidence from the Portsmouth win as well. So I think we'll give it a good go. I think people might be surprised. So, yeah. You're muted.
Yeah, bloody hell. Sorry about that. As I was trying to say, this games give us a bit of confidence, to go on and, put in a good performance. And like I say, we do have a good record there. So it's pretty interesting. But team news going into it is also quite interesting in certain different ways. So, there's no one available that was obviously out. McGuinness was obviously, he carried on. And he will be okay for this game. But the others are getting there a little bit closer. And obviously that is the likes of Burke. They're aiming to get him back for either Cardiff or Middlesbrough. Now, I'm not going to get my hopes up too much about Burke, as much as I think he can be good on his day. He'll probably come back and get injured, unfortunately, because that's just what happens. It's a repetitive cycle. So it'd be good to have him back, but let's see how long it lasts. And then you've got the likes of Hashioka, not too far off as well. It's going to be interesting to see if we keep him in the summer, I'll be honest. Obviously, at the end of the season, we'll do a keep sell loan like we do, but it's going to be interesting with him because I don't really know how he really fits in now, if I'm going to be honest. But yeah, he's there. And then Chong won't be back till after the international break, which is gutting because I think he can work really well in his system. But we'll see when he comes back, what happens with him. And again, it might be a bit, I think we said it on one of the recent episodes before this, it's going to be quite interesting to see where he actually fits in, because we know he's going to bring that spark of running at players similar to Jones in that sense. But, for now, you've got Doughty there. Are you going to put him in the middle sort of bit with Asgard, but then you drop? I don't know. It's all interesting. We'll see. But the lineup going into the game, for me, based on everything I've just said, is actually an unchanged lineup from the last game. I look at it and I think, well, it's the generic saying, but you don't really change a winning team for me. And I feel a lot of players don't deserve to be dropped. Like Makoso, for example. Kaminsky in goal, goes without saying. He's going to play every single game for the remainder of the season, unless he gets injured, which much really doesn't, like I said. Bell, I think you keep him in really. He was decent, so you keep him in. Naismith, you've got to play him, especially if you're playing this back three. You've got to play Naismith. That goes without saying. Makoso, like I say, he deserves to carry on for me. Jones, wasn't as good in the last game, but wasn't terrible. And I think if we utilise him running at players, he'll be good in this game and could be quite effective. Because what I've noticed about Burnley is they do struggle against teams that, as much as we need the points and we sort of got to go for it, I wouldn't mind in this game if we're a bit more lenient and then try to hit him on the breaks. We've definitely got the players to do that. And he could be massive for that. Same with Doughty on the other side. Then one of our best players, it goes without saying. Walsh, carry on with him. His range of passing is really good, as we know. He is having a few more shots in games, which I do like. And hopefully at some point he does get a goal for us. Hopefully. Asgard, I'll stick him in. I'll keep him in. I was maybe thinking of putting Lamine in for this game, I'll be honest, because we're away. But then again, his recent performances do worry me a little bit. Whereas Asgard's obviously still settling in. This is the type of game where he can have a pop shot. I mean, obviously different quality of player, but I remember when we played Burnley last year, Ross Barkley is having pop shots, against Trafford, who will be in goal. So I weren't far off. So, we know Asgard has got a good shooting capability. So stick with him. Clark, again, similar to Makoso, doesn't deserve to be dropped. So I'm going to stick with him. And then up front, I mean, I've seen a few people go Morris and Ali, which I wouldn't mind. But I'm going to stick with Brown. Morris deserves to stay in after last performance, but I'm going to stick with Brown because I don't want Elijah in starting because he ain't been great, as we all know. I feel if you go Morris and Nordas, they're similar. Plus, Nordas didn't even come on in the last game. So I don't think he'll be in for this game anyway, based on that as well. He'll be on the bench, but I just don't think he'll start. So I'll stick with Brown. I'm going to keep Brown over Ali because that seems to be the debate over the last week going into this game. So that's my lineup, unchanged lineup. Like I say, the common saying, don't change a winning side, really. That's why I've stuck with that. As for your lineup, Dad, there you go.
Yeah, so obviously I've gone same formation, Kaminsky in goal. I've gone with back three of Naismith and McGuinness because I think he'll probably be starting this game. I think we need him to be. And I'm also sticking with Makoso. Doughty and Jones in their respectable positions, basically unchanged midfield. I've kept Morris in as well as you have, but I've changed it up. I know you were just saying about Nordas, but I think they have it too easy at times defensively. And I think a big, tall guy up front who's a bit unproven, they haven't seen too much of. They can't really, assess him that much. And I don't think he's been up front with Morris, or maybe once. Once, I think, maybe. So, yeah, I think Brown's a bit too predictable for me. So that's why I've gone with Nordas.
I mean, fair enough. I wouldn't mind it. And to be fair, look at Nordas. He is a little bit different to Morris. Like they're both tall and they're good at holding up the ball, but then Nordas is quite quick for a player that's taller. Usually, it's the smaller players that are more sort of good with the ball at their feet. Look at Clark, for example. I wouldn't mind it. I mean, the reason I haven't gone Ali is just I don't really think like he's shown good moments, but then there was it still annoys me. The game against Plymouth where he had that stupid shot at the end. Like, just put your laces through it, man. Like, just little things like that were a bit frustrating. And this don't annoy me as much, but other people referred to the Sunderland game. And again, he was offside anyway, but that chance, do you know what I mean? Like, there's just them little moments, which is why I'm not putting him in yet. I've got no problem bringing him on. I think he can cause stuff. He's another player that's pretty good at running at players, but it's one of them where I'll stick with the ones that we played against Portsmouth. So yeah, that's our lineups there. Now it is that time, Dad. Score predictions. Like I say, got good record at Turf Moor, but they are very good this season at home.
Yeah,
You're going to get consistency of decent results.
So I'm going to go one or two ways on that. I think we'll either get a result, with a good performance, or it'll be the same old. But I just can't really see it. They've drawn a hell of a lot of games, and I think if you put it on them, their main focus is on defending. They might make the mistake of thinking, well, we battered them 4-1. They're down the bottom. Let's just go at them. But I just don't think he plays like that, and he'll still be wary. And so they'll be looking to snatch it. But I think that we will show a lot of fight and go on. Just don't let them be comfortable, basically, and put it on them a little bit. So I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw.
I mean, that's fair enough. The last two times we went there, it has been a 1-1 draw. I was at the one in the Championship when Potts scored very early on. Oh, that was absolute limbs that day, and that was a brilliant point considering they were putting a lot of pressure on us in that second half. Brownhill scored a great goal for them, and then obviously the Premier League 1-1. As for me, I don't know. I'm flickering between a draw and a defeat. I cannot see us winning. They have not lost at home, and with our away form, you can't see it. I was flickering between a 0-0 draw or a 2-0 defeat. Unfortunately, just based on what I've seen this season, I will say a 2-0 defeat, but a close 2-0 defeat. I just think it's difficult to back us, really, in this type of game when you're coming up against a side that haven't lost at home and we've been poor away. So, yeah, unfortunately, I'll go with that. But hopefully I'm proven wrong. Hopefully I'm proven wrong and we can get something out of the game. We get a draw out of that, I'll be very happy with that. Going into Cardiff, which we have to win. We obviously get into that quick turnaround, so we'll do the hat show all in one. Like today's on Monday, because the game's on Tuesday, so we'll just do it on Monday. But yeah, we have to win that game. But other comments, we'll go through other comments, of course. Jackie says, hi, Ty does out tonight, so I'll listen tomorrow. Score predictions 1-1. We'd like to see Colton and Ali at the front. Jackie's one end has gone Colton and Ali. Fair enough. Mick says, we'll take a draw. If we win, happy days. Yeah, exactly that. That's how I see it. David says, good evening. Hope you're both well and had a good day. Think this game has draw written all over it. And I would take the point. I mean, when you look at, the recent sort of way it's been for both teams, us finally getting a win, our record at Turf Moor, Burnley don't concede many, we don't score many. A draw could, like a 0-0 draw, could be there, but we'll see. It'll be interesting. Big up to Paul as well. Big up to obviously everyone else that has tuned in as well. Paul's gone 2-1. Nordas and Clark to score. I mean, if we got a win there, we went to get a win there, that would be incredible. And let's be honest, with our season. And again, you wouldn't have said that at the start. Well, you probably would have still, but you would have said. You wouldn't have said it was, incredible. Like I said, you would have said, yes, that's a brilliant win. If we got anything there, I'll take it. I'll take it. Simple as that. Talk about a 0-0. Barry has gone with a 0-0, which, like I say, I was flickering between that and a 2-0 defeat. Spencer's gone 1-0 as well, same as you, Dud. Mick says hoping for a 0-0. Yeah, exactly. Because The advantage we do have over Plymouth as well is our goal difference isn't as bad as theirs. So if we can not concede as many, which again, I am confident we won't in games. Now, again, I know I've said a 2-0 loss here, but, that I can't see us in games now really conceding more than 3 if we have Naismith at the back. That is, obviously, if we don't, then it's a bit of a worry. But, yeah, it's all interesting. But, yeah, 1-1, Dad. Who is your goal scorer for us?
Asgard.
Okay, fair enough. Outside the box, it's got to be in it. Got to be one of them. And yeah, obviously I'll put this in the chat. Luton under 21 is currently 1-0 down. Apparently they've actually played all right, but 1-0 down at the moment. And obviously you've got Johnson and Walters playing in that, so I don't think they'll be in the squad tomorrow. But like I said, stranger things have happened with the other player. I think it's Chigozie. He was playing in against Man United under 21s and then travelled down the same day and was in the squad for the game against Derby. So we'll see when it comes to that. But any final things, Dad, you want to say before we end it?
Keep the faith in it. Keep the faith. See what happens.
Yeah. Let's see. I mean, would be fantastic if we get the win, but somehow I can't see it yet. Let's be realistic, guys. I mean, again, strange things have happened in football, but we've got to be honest. Our away form's terrible. They haven't lost at all throughout the season. They've only conceded 10 goals. Like, when you look at that sort of thing, it's not ideal. But then again, us getting that win, I think that will give us a bit of confidence that we can give them a game, especially the record at Turf Moor. The chances when they fall to us, will they take them? That's my worry at the moment with us. So, yeah, man. But yeah, big up to everyone that's tuned in. Don't forget to smash a like if you haven't already. Obviously, do subscribe to the channel as well if you haven't already. And again, guys, like I said, we didn't do the hat show during the week. Some of you would have seen that obviously I did play football again. Did do a little video on it. Did actually score a goal. Charity. It's for a good cause. So yeah, check that video out, man. That was a good video that I did enjoy doing. Bit of a shorter one, but yeah, check that out. And then as for this game tomorrow, there will be a match reaction and there will be a vlog from home again. I don't think I'm going to a game now, guys. I'll be honest, until Hull. And if any of you are going to Hull, their prices are very good, aren't they? Flipping hell. Fair play to Hull, got to give them credit. Adult ticket, only 15 quid. For me, it's only going to be a tenner. So, yeah, I'll be at that game. And then from there on in, I'm not too sure for the rest of the season. Probably try and do a few away days that I haven't done. And probably more chance of me doing away days than home games, I'll be honest. But yeah, obviously, I'll let you guys know more of the time. New subscriber in the stream as well, so do appreciate that. Big up to yourself. And yeah, like I say, smash a like, subscribe. Check out the video I did the other day, me playing football. And yeah, check out everything when it drops tomorrow and anything that comes out on the channel. So yeah, smash a like, subscribe, follow me across all my socials, subscribe to the extra channel. And we'll be back again, like I say, on Monday to do it all in one. As we've got a quick turnaround where you probably will expect rotation against Cardiff. So, yeah, till then, guys, take care and peace. Come on, Luton.